to watch them?
No.
No. We had so much fun with these three and just learning, like I've learned so much through the process. And I've been learning from Maggie for my entire art career.
No.
Yes, from day one. She was one of the first people who encouraged me when I was still in school. And she came to Emil's and she said, keep going.
Oh, that was a long time.
Keep going, yeah. Yeah, it was a long time. It was 15 years ago.
And look what she's turned out to be.
Because I have great mentors and peers. So, but I hope that you enjoyed the process as well.
Yeah, I did.
So we have some other artists in the room. We may want to come knock on doors. So, are there questions for our artists? Susan.
Did you all start as children?
Yes.
Making art?
Yes.
Yeah, you were young? Okay.
Yes, I was the artist of the class.
What, okay.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
Yeah.
I did a lot of art, and I did a lot of art with one of my best friend's daughter on the floor.
And with... that would be...
That was
yeah, I do remember that, actually. So you all started as children, and you just knew that that was it?
Mm-hmm.
Because Brad, yeah, granted, you started coloring books with me, but when did sculpture start for you? Was that early too? I remember you being 2D.
Yeah, it was after the stained glass period I had.
Yeah, I remember.
It was, I don't know, about 30 years ago.
Okay.
One of the things that, even for me as an artist, you know, as a photographer and artist, the one thing that I noticed that was a common theme, you know, it was how personal everything that you do, the way you approach it, why you do it, and, you know, the significance, you know, of it, you know, that personal touch. You know, it's like, I'm doing it for me. If everybody else likes it, you know, so be it. But, you know,
That's what I found interesting too, hearing that in all of our films afterward. So we didn't, today's the first day I've seen all three.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to hear the similarities between the three of us.
Yeah.
That's right.
And you go about it differently, but it's all a labor of love. Each
Yeah.
one of you. That's the interesting aspect of it.
We didn't know going in.
Their approach is so different, but it comes down to that. Hand of the artist, labor of love, art gods hopefully visiting, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, and it was really interesting because we weren't sure we would get that. They're drastically different artists, drastically different, you know, procedure.
Yeah.
And so that was what we were looking for. And
Nice.
when we had our first conversation about it, Jason said, what do you mean capturing the elusive? I said, Jason, you can do so many things. You know, you're well educated, you're a performer, you film, you can draw, you know, why film? And he went, you know? So I knew we could be climbing this uphill battle. And we had a number of artists on our original list. And then, you know, we were so grateful that three very different artists came through, but then going into each one, we wondered if there would be that connection. The thing I knew was there from knowing each of you personally and having shown your work, but maybe you never talked about it. I don't know if the three of you knew the other one was doing it until near the end. So it's been like this eye-opening thing, and I think we do all as artists have it, no matter what your media is. We're hearing it with performers as we ask questions, and you know, I know some of you very well, and as I talk to you, I find it, but I didn't know if we'd get it, and I'm just these. Well, Jason is great at clarifying my questions because everything's new to me, and they'll tell you that. Sometimes I answered the same question 3 times, and that was my fault. But so we're just grateful. More questions?
So what are you going to do with this after you're done? Like, are you going to show it to other artists, on public TV, or?
Well, public TV would be nice. So the original goal was to document these stories we know were there for our community. because some of us have this great opportunity and access to one another that others don't have unless we have an open studio, or we have, that's that thing people really want to know. So we wanted to document that. We have this rich culture in Racine. So that was the first idea. And then we realized that these videos they'll go to the artists, they can use them as part of their portfolio, they can show them when they want, they can market with them. And then, part of the other goal is to use it towards bringing people in to see this rich culture in Racine. Real Racine is one of the ArtSeed grant providers. And so, they were really interested in seeing, how they can use it to help us promote. But we'd love to keep going. At this point, we now have a fiscal receiver. We're building a website. YouTube channel goes up today, and we'll start with Maggie's video, Jason. Mm-hmm. And we'll drop them a few days apart so that people can start seeing them, and hopefully we can get the word out. We will need financial support to continue, but we feel like this is a really good start. It's a good place, and for us, it is also a labor of love. This is our home. Susan.
You could put it on Wisconsin Life also.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
PBS.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we've heard that now with Peter O'Keefe came and screened with us, and he said something very similar, that it was time to take it out. So we're hoping we'll get lots and lots of coverage from these. More feedback, ideas, questions? Mark.
I just wanted to ask everyone to go to the YouTube channel, because we do need to get I don't understand it. What did you?
Do you want to explain it, Jason?
Yeah, we have to get 100 subscribers before we can get our own URL, and then there's other advantages that we get with our first 100 subscribers. I think we're already at like 15, so if you feel free to pull out your phones while we're talking right now. It's okay. I think it's not in YouTube's search very well, so the best way to find it would be to actually go to Facebook page, find it there and use the link, because YouTube, unless you have that's another thing, is once you get so many, then they'll start putting it into their algorithm, and then people who are all over the world will find it through the search engines.
When you say Facebook
won't
page,
even find it for me.
Capturing the elusive.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, our Facebook page is just facebook.com/capturing the elusive, or if you just search capturing the elusive.
So now I'm on your page where the video's on here already?
Go to
the YouTube page is on there.
No, you have to click it. So go to search, and then click page.
Are you burning DVDs?
We hadn't talked about DVDs at this point. We can. I'm sure we can. But we
That'd be great.
I will. If you're burning,
What's that?
Susan says if we're burning DVDs.
Oh, yeah, that'd be one of our options, is just setting that up.
Oh, darn, I have to sign into Facebook, which means I have to know my password. I have to get it. Do you know my password also, Jason? Through YouTube in some way.
I haven't because of COVID, but the next round, when we have open house, I'll probably have another sign-up time.
Oh.
Actually,
Good, great.
The artists have brought a few pieces down, so if you have questions, if you want to get up, move around, and look at the work and ask questions as well, I think they're great examples of what they were showing us. Is this new?
No.
I don't remember it, so.
it might be good too if we go down the line and each talk about what classes you put on, because I think all of you put on some type of classes at least, or at least talk about classes.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Let's go. With it, and then we'll go down.
Yeah, I do an 8-week carving class, and you come up there and you work for about 2.5 hours each session, and by the time 8 weeks are over with, you will have a stone. It's not very complex or complicated, but it gives you all the simple movements and what you need to do to make a stone. So.
Well, I used to teach. I started out teaching in my studio, and then I was invited to teach at 2 different colleges, and I did for a couple of years. But I don't do anything now. I just create.
And I've taught a business of art class through Woostum several times, and we'll do it again if there's demand. But I also do lectures, workshops, and critiques through local art guilds.
So, going down the road again, what's next? Like, what are you working on now? What are you looking forward to?
Right now, I'm working on a bear. I have a friend that's a financial advisor. I did the bull for him already, and now I'm working on the bear. So, and I hope the bear doesn't mean that's what's going to come next. So.
Yes. Right now, I'm working with aluminum mesh, and I've got a section from that pole to that pole over there. And it's up in my studio, but it's not successful. But I'm having fun, and it's going to be taken down, and maybe I'll redo it. But that's what I'm doing right now. It's fun.
I'm working on a new series. The one on the easel there is one of the first in the series. This was actually done or started as a workshop a week or so ago at UW Parkside for the painting students. And I didn't get a lot done during the workshop. I was talking way too much. But after the class, probably in about 10 hours, I got the painting finished, and I shared it back with the class so they could see how it ended up. I'm working on 6 more of the same model right now at the same time, 3 by 3 feet each. So I'm a busy boy right now.
And let me just say, no, he did not talk too much, and the students got a lot out of it, trust me. I heard about it afterwards.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get the painting done. I don't know if any of you have ever seen, it's called Portrait Artist of the Year. It's on Netflix, I think. I fell in love with the series. I don't see the new ones anymore, unfortunately. They're not posting them. But they create a portrait from blank canvas to finish in 4 hours. And so I've been trying. I did do one in 4 hours about 3 years ago, and I was trying to do one in 2.5 hours with that one. That wasn't going to happen.
And are there venues where people can go to see your work where you're showing now, where you have shows or exhibits going on that people can visit or see your other work?
There is a show at Parkside right now for 2 more weeks, I think. It's called Racine Kenosha Together Again, with a lot of Racine and Kenosha artists. I have a piece in there, and fingers crossed, I'll find out Tuesday if I get a painting in the Kenosha Public Museum acrylic biennial. Fingers crossed.
Any more questions? Thank you guys. Jason, do you have anything you want to add?
I have a quick question. What was your most surprising part of the process for filmmaking, just because most people don't get to see behind the scenes? You want to go first, Bess?
Surprising process. I have to say it would probably be the questions you asked, my response, and then the seat on here. Because I was sweating all day thinking, I'm really going to look like bad, you know.
Yeah, the edit was the scary part.
Yeah, editing, I guess.
Yeah, and he's an expert at his craft. We had this discussion, didn't we, Maggie, that we wouldn't ask Jason to come in and work on our work, so we were going to let Jason do his.
Oh, that's right.
Because I think we were all a little nervous. I try to avoid the camera, which is why you see my shoulder in a lot of the shots. But would you do it again?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you for being here. We're
Thank you,
so
Jason.
honored that you would take an evening, a Saturday evening, to be with us. We're so grateful.